Hello, dear foodie friends, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. I'm your host, Margaret McSweeney, here in the beautiful Viking and La Cornue showroom in New York City. And I'm here with my co-host, Chef Jaime Laurita, who is the brand ambassador and the designer of this beautiful showroom. And I am so excited to bring it back to Chicago today with our wonderful guests who really need no introductions, but Cynthia Rowley and her daughter, Kit. Welcome to Kitchen Chat in the Viking Show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We're already
You guys are
we're already
sync.
dressed alike by accident, and now we're saying each other's words.
That is so great. And to think that it all began in the hometown of Barrington, 60010.
Yep, Barrington, Illinois. I also called it Borington when
Me
I lived
too.
there.
I lived in Borington for 12 years.
You did?
I did.
And Barrington when I was in high school.
Right.
Oh my God.
But
Sorry.
yeah, now it's back to Barrington.
Oh, and it began there. And I mean, look at you now, and look at these beautiful clothes behind the designs that I'm wearing, a Cynthia Rowley design as
You
well.
look fantastic.
And I'd love to hear a little bit, I know we're going to get to food, but I think food and fashion are great pairings.
I agree.
Yes, and if you could just give us a sneak peek back into when it began and the fashion for you in Barrington.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have PTSD if I start really thinking about like some
We've
of
got
the
things for that,
outfits.
Cynthia. We can help you. We can help you.
Shouldn't we be drinking wine
We
if we're
should.
going back in time like that? You know, growing up in a small town,
Yes.
there wasn't a lot to do, so I started sewing really early. I started sewing when I was 7. My mom gave me some ugly old fabric that she had, like, okay, you know, this will keep her occupied. And I remember laying it on the floor and laying down and tracing around myself like a crime scene victim and cutting it out and sewing it up. And I wore it every day, you know, much to my mom's horror because she had to look at that fabric like every day, but I was so proud of it. And I just, you know, like the creative process was something that like I really enjoyed, making things and you know, having an idea and being able to make it a reality. And, you know, I think that kind of seeps into everything you do. You know, it's definitely like that in the kitchen. You know, I have a hard time sometimes following a recipe because I want to,
Never follow recipes. Never.
Neither do I.
But you were saying she's a great cook, right?
My mom,
Yes.
I think that our eating has changed a lot in the past few years, and we love to experiment in the kitchen. So, like, we'll see, you know, new food trends on Instagram or online, and we just like to, you know, try and recreate those at home, and it's a bonding experience for us. It's really my mom and I's shared time together.
It's almost like meditative, like we're there, we're like in the moment, you know, we're making something that is inspiring and we're curious about, and we're, you know, creating something that we can share with everyone else in the family, except
And I think
I have a 13-year-old that basically, you know, if she had mac and cheese every day, she'd probably be psyched.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets lost on her a little bit.
But it's very familiar, like when you're talking about those ingredients that create great dishes and great memories. The same thing happens with fashion and design.
That's so true. Yeah,
Right?
it's so true.
It's like that the ingredients change, but
Yeah.
the recipe kind of exists when
Like
you're designing something.
I mean, definitely starting with really great materials and whatever it is.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know,
And then
I don't know if I can say, but can you say you can't polish a turd? Is
Yeah,
that,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, kitchen chat. When you want to say something like that, Margaret will grab her pearls, but you can say it to me. I'm the saltier side of the equation.
I mean, that's the thing. You can't polish a turd, so you got to
Right.
start with the right, you
Right.
know, the best ingredients.
Right.
Yes.
And you know, it's like that with I'm sure in architecture and everything else, you want to start with great ingredients, but then you want to put your own spin on
creative
it.
twist. Yeah.
So it sounds like, Kit, you were a big inspiration to the family in food.
Definitely. I think in high school I started really researching nutrition and you know, incorporating whole foods into our diet as much as possible and plant-based meals as much as possible. And I really just like, you know, it's a hobby of mine, and my mom and I are both very busy people. So when we have that time in the kitchen, it's, you know, our time to create and just be away from our phones and talk and catch up on our days together. So it's a really important bonding experience for
I mean,
us.
she totally changed the way our family eats because, like, being from the Midwest, where like Velveeta is a food group, you know, and like, and my mom cooked all the time, which was amazing.
But even
But
like, it's not the same ingredients that we have access to. I mean, growing up, like for me, it's like we can go to Whole Foods and get the best ingredients and get, you know, organic fruit and vegetables all year round, and even the packaged foods are so much, you know, better quality and everything. So it's interesting even to go home or go to my grandparents' house in Illinois, and it's like my grandma cooks everything, but it might not all, it's just harder to get access to those healthy ingredients. You know, it's like if you want fruit juice, it's gonna be Tropicana. It's not going to be
I know.
like...
For me, growing up, juice was in a can, frozen in the freezer.
Right.
Peel off the thing,
Right.
and then
You
know,
skim
it'd be
off
a
that
clump
crunchy
in
stuff
the-
on the top. That was my favorite
Yeah, that
part.
was a good.
Right? My mom would look at it
my
and be like,
gosh.
"Oh, but that was me."
But you're going to be so excited because in Barrington, the next time you come back, there is an organic juicery now. in
Oh,
town.
amazing.
Oh,
Yes,
yay.
everything's organic, and it is just wonderful.
You guys should
'Cause-
do a cookbook called like something like Designing My Diet.
Diet by design.
Diet
Oh,
by
diet
Design.
by design.
Yeah.
And talk about
That's
the
so
intersection
fun.
of.
Yeah.
We need to do that.
Okay,
Oh my
you
gosh.
guys have to. You guys would have to. help
2019
us.
project.
I will gladly help
Okay,
you.
ready, team?
Here we go. Here we go. Team
Ready.
cookbook.
Okay.
Go. Diet by Design. Yeah. So it seems that you've been such a huge influence on the family. I mean, I think people would love a cookbook.
We need to do it.
Well, I think it's interesting because it's like the creative process, like how you can explore your own creativity through food, and then the fashion part of it is easy because it's like if you eat well,
Yeah.
you look good.
It,
you know,
it resonates, and it's funny with design. You guys being designers, right? And you talked about your dress, the original dress. You had so much energy you put on that, right? And you felt that energy, and that energy.
Totally.
Right?
I remember making something, like as a kid, you know, maybe even like junior high or something, that I was so proud of, and I felt such, you know,
It's like
joy.
a high. That
Yeah,
It's like a
it's an
high.
energy
Yeah.
high, for sure.
And that I was like, I want to show this to everyone.
Exactly. Same thing happens with food. I mean, when
And
I
it
cook
is.
something and I spin the pot a certain way, just like you would sew a certain way or combine those colors, same thing with ingredients, you create a potion.
that
It's
you
like-
just want to share.
You wanna
exactly.
share.
And especially if you're putting love into it.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a big problem with moms who don't really realize, or dads these days who don't really realize the power of food, that when you're putting yourself into it and you really have all that intention, same thing with design, there's an outcome.
Yes.
It resonates something. So you're talking about that. You're talking
That's
about using
exa-
wholesome ingredients, organic ingredients, really searching out things that, like, I love going to a supermarket or a farmer's market and I let the food talk to me. I'm like, I'm buying those eggplant because they're so beautiful and they're so shiny and perfect. I want to take them home and use them right away because the energy is there.
Well, and I like that there's such a community around food. And the other thing about food and fashion is maybe the trends, because, you know, we've
Yeah, that's
explored
interesting.
all the trends.
We love
And that's
trying
what's
food
exciting
trends.
about,
It's so fun.
you know, a creative discipline, you know, is like hearing about new trends, trying new trends, experimenting.
And
you
also
know.
like kind of becoming obsessed or like falling into like a food phase where it's like this entire week we have to have avocado.
Oh my
with
God,
all
I was
of
just
our
going to
meals.
say it.
You know?
I was just going to say it.
every meal.
I just came back.
Yeah.
You guys have probably been to Tulum, Mexico.
Of course.
Okay, of course you have. I just came back. Did you love it?
I loved it.
I love
the
it.
food.
Love
the
it.
food
Love, right?
is so good.
Did you eat at Heartwood?
Is that
You go down into, it's got a pergola like this over it, a white
okay?
pergola.
I know exactly
It's
what you're
super
talking
great,
about.
but avocado was one of the things, like a baked avocado
Yeah.
with peanut sauce over the top, stuffed with crab.
Oh,
So good.
tonight.
Yeah,
I know.
see? Right,
That's our next move.
there you go.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. Like, you get to experiment in a much more, fashion you want to experiment with, you want to try new things, but, and now it's easier than ever, with digital, shopping, whatever. But with food, like, you can experiment with all kinds of things multiple
And I think,
times a day.
another parallel is like seeing what fits, to you. It's what foods make you feel good. You can't, no one diet is going to work for everyone. So it's about finding those foods that, you thrive on and you feel super energized and, healthy. And that's the same with clothes. It's like finding what you feel most confident in and what you feel best wearing.
It's
Yeah.
kind of, I love this conversation because you're
Yes.
consuming the fashion.
You
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and different palettes. The palette and
Right.
the
Oh,
artist palette.
yes.
I
I do think presentation, which I know is important to you, like,
Same thing. It's,
what is the visual part of all this too,
well, you eat with your, first thing is you're smelling the food, then you're eating with your eyes, and then you actually get to consume it, and then you feel it. It's like, I say the same thing all the time. When you eat something from a fast food place, initially you're like, oh, I had whatever, a fish fillet sandwich, which I kind of love from McDonald's.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like, let's not, you
Yeah, I'm not
shouldn't
gonna, like,
totally
deprive
deprive
yourself.
yourself of all
It's
those
a form
things.
of starvation.
Yeah.
But you feel that, like, after you eat it, there's no energy in that. It
Yeah.
just tastes good, but doesn't feel
100%.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I am just while two experts, food and fashion, are here. What are the key fashion trends right now? What are the key food trends right now, and how can this blend?
Oh boy.
Is there a certain
You go
color?
first.
Okay. I can say that a lot of I think trends, because of the speed and the frequency of social media, food and travel are
That's our
synonymous,
thing.
right? So traveling and having these culinary experiences, for example, in Tulum, I've taken pictures of the food, and then everyone's doing that now, and then you've got all these followers looking at it. That creates a trend, right? Now, for me, that probably is the same thing with fashion, that it's mostly based on social media,
Yeah, 100%.
right?
So there's no trends really. You
Right.
follow who you love and who you can identify with, and the great thing is that everybody, being true to yourself and your own vision and being able to put it out there and having a broad audience that, there's people that are going to love your stuff no matter what, not no matter what, but, that you create your own audience. So you do what's best, what's true to your own vision, and, create your own audience. But can we talk about travel a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
Because
of course.
I'm like, fashion. No, I'm just kidding.
Fashion's hard. I mean,
Oh my
fashion's
gosh.
hard, and it's
Fashion
super
is
fun,
so
and,
hard.
like,
it's so hard, right?
I'm really, our show is February 12th, which is coming right up, but like, I love fashion. I was surprised that Kit wanted to be in fashion after she sees how hard I work.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think I didn't even realize how hard it was
But the
till
thing
I
that,
started doing it, and then I was like, "Whoa,
yeah,
this is a
she
lot
was
of work."
tweaking yesterday because there was a piece about her in the style section on Sunday, and she got so many orders that she was like, "I'm gonna put sold out." I was like, "No, no, 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 no. You just keep taking those orders. You're gonna get them shipped. You're
Yeah.
gonna get it made. You're
I've
gonna
been,
do it."
I literally sleep in the garment district every night because I'm like running. I've been to the garment district probably 5 times in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fun.
So what about the
Pay your
travel?
dues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to say the thing that makes all that hard work worthwhile for us is we go on these epic adventures. And we go because we're both so busy, we go in and out really fast. So for Thanksgiving, we went to Senegal, which was amazing. The Thanksgiving before we went to Egypt, and we're going
For
for like
3
3
days.
For 3 days.
Yes.
But you know, you can really we just go pedal to the metal, but you know what? Like you have to just do it. Like I don't think people realize the restorative power and the inspiration and the, you know, mind expanding experience that you can have by traveling.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go for 3 weeks. People are always like, I don't have the time. Just go.
Go for the weekend.
Fly. Like, find out where the flights are. It's never that expensive, you know. It's like, just do it. See the world
Yeah,
and
book
like
it in advance, get it done, and
experience places
go
that
for
are
a
all
short
being
time.
sort of homogenized now.
Yeah.
You know, but so
You absorb like so much just by being there. Never mind.
Yeah.
Like, you just
but
absorb.
the food is
I know.
Yes, the cuisine and culture. It
Yeah.
comes to, so I'm so curious because I've interviewed a Senegalese chef, and I
Oh.
loved the word terenga, which is a Senegalese word for hospitality.
Ah.
So did
Oh,
you
I didn't even know
experience
I feel like we went to
terenga
a
in
restaurant
Senegal?
named that.
Yeah.
And what was the food like? Is there a special memory that you
I mean,
take
it's
away from
very,
that?
there's a lot of seafood. Very local seafood is important. It's all really sort of simple ingredients, but with like the most delicious spices, saffron and, you know, spicy things. And
Turmeric. There's
turmeric.
lots of cumin. And,
yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
Which is kind of how we like to cook because we, you know, use a lot of very simple ingredients, and it's about making those simple ingredients, like adding your own flavors to those ingredients.
Putting yourself into it, I like to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is next on your travel destination itinerary? Where would you like to go?
Where should we go?
I read
Well,
that. I read that you guys. I'm sorry. I read that you guys. Who's the surfer? Both of you.
Both of us.
Both of you.
All of us, the whole
All
family.
Oh.
My 13-year-old is a shredder. Kit's a shredder too. I longboard, which means I'm just a little not as snappy on the board, but I surf. I'm like obsessed. I go in Montauk. We go every weekend, and I'm out there.
My mom will
6
be in the water for like all day from morning until it like gets dark.
I love it.
And no matter what the conditions are, like she does not care. She just wants to be in the water.
Wow.
Yeah,
What sign are you?
Leo.
Leah, of course.
And my sister and I guess it's because like we grew up surfing. I don't know what it is, but we're so picky. Like if the waves are like breaking in a way that we don't like, we're like, whatever.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and then
"Guys,
we
come
just like
on."
go out and like get it when it's good. But my mom is addicted.
I love it. I'm fully obsessed, which is why we make the wetsuits.
And
Yes.
why we love, you know, traveling to places where we can surf.
Yeah,
What is your favorite place to surf?
I mean Montauk would be my favorite.
Yeah, Montauk is our home base for surfing, but we've surfed in Hong Kong, we've surfed in Brazil, we've surfed in Australia, we've
Right.
surfed, you know, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica.
Yeah,
so-
Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah.
Yeah. If there's a wave, we're finding
there.
it.
Yeah.
I
Portugal.
love that.
Portugal, Lisbon.
Oh, Portugal.
Best
Food.
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 Yeah.
Sea-
How about New
Food.
Zealand? You've been to New Zealand?
Not
No.
yet.
Oh.
That's actually a trip that my sister and I were
Maybe
Guys,
that's our
guys,
next
I'm telling
trip.
you, go and you're
Really?
welcome. Go and you're welcome. The food, you're heard it here first. The food, sickening. So
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Really?
Yeah, and beautiful. Just gorgeous.
Seafood.
Well,
It's-
think about how Terrence and Zippy eat.
Oh yeah.
One of our friends is from New Zealand, and she eats like so healthy,
Yeah.
and they always
There's
are
something
making
about we
beautiful
talk
meals.
about food energy. That's a place where you can actually, it's palatable.
Wow.
I'm like
That's
I'm like
amazing.
a very like I can feel that. I feel all that, and to me it's just sensory overload.
And you can surf there.
Yep.
Wait, where
Done and
else? What are some other where else should we go? That's has that
the most-
quality.
Well, I mean, you guys have been a lot of places that you mentioned that I've been as well, but for some reason that's a standout. I'll think of a few others.
Okay.
And I don't surf. I took surfing lessons once in Hawaii. It was a fiasco.
I can't
In
imagine.
Honolulu?
I can't imagine it, Margaret.
So,
I
it's
want
not a
to. I
pretty
want to make
sight.
Margaret's zip line. I just want to see her do that. Come
Oh,
on.
we did. We
We
just did
it
that
in
Did it?
Puerto Rico.
on
How
New
was that?
Year's. We did the longest
fun.
zip line in the world, I
Oh,
think.
wow.
It was crazy.
But
it was
we're like
super fun.
adrenaline junkies.
I could tell.
Yeah.
So
You
like
need a
nothing is
Off limits.
yeah. Even going ziplining on the longest zip line in I think
The world, I
or
think, because they
in
said
the Americas maybe
Oh,
something
maybe.
like that. But I was like, okay, this is.
Oh yeah, these guys are freaking out. Now I have a whole new thing like in my head for you two.
And I'm excited about their new cookbook,
Yeah.
Diet by Design.
that we just
We're on
Yes.
came up with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just, as a designer and somebody who's been following you for years, and I just think you're so cool, like in person.
Aw,
I
thank
could
you.
tell like we would
Aw.
be quick friends.
I know we should go to New Zealand
For sure.
together.
But
All of us.
so you've designed, like you're doing obviously the fashion off the hook, furniture. What haven't you done?
I just always think about things like, why hasn't anyone done blank? You know.
What are
So-
you most out of everything you've designed? Because I was doing a lot of research on you this morning. You've designed so much. There's so much product out there with your name on it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
There's so much more coming.
It's crazy.
Get ready.
I know, but I love it. Like I would love that. I would love to just. You're like my mentor because I have so many ideas as well to do things like that. But what is your favorite thing you've ever done? What's your
I can answer that
What is
already.
it?
Wetsuits.
Oh yeah, you're right. Wetsuits. That was a thing that nobody. It was completely overlooked. You had to go in the water. I had to when I started surfing, which is was as a fully formed adult. I had to wear those like cut off right above the knee, so your knee looks like a muffin,
That blue
and like
thread?
with the hips built. They were so hideous, and I was like, why hasn't anyone made like a hot wetsuit, And so I met the CEO of Quicksilver, and he was like, let's do it together. And that's how I started with them. And then, but nobody had printed on a wetsuit. Nobody had done anything, like put any thought into it. And there's so many more and more and more female surfers now that so we do it ourselves, and it's like endless. I could design wetsuits like,
And
With
if
my
you
eyes closed.
go out to Montauk in the summer, every girl in the water is wearing a CR wetsuit.
So I have another question for you as mother and daughter. I put you on the spot. What are the thing, and it's both your question, that you're most proud of from each other?
Like,
What makes you like what do you love about the most about your mom?
I could answer that for you. I mean,
Okay.
for me to you. I would say that you're so self-assured and confident and really like hardworking. Like those things.
I was
are,
gonna
like,
say hardworking for my mom too, because it's such an inspiration to me to see how much effort she puts into her work and to, balancing her work life with our life at home, and it's a huge inspiration to grow up with like a boss.
A boss.
Margaret's crying. Margaret's crying over there. I was just trying to make Margaret cry. Look at her crying. Speechless.
No, but I learn from Kit every day. I'm so grateful that she changed the way we all eat. I mean, it's really, and I'm so grateful that I have someone to learn from every day because, it's true. At work, I'm like, basically like, the boss, I guess. I mean, I guess I am
You
the
guess.
boss. I am the boss.
Girl, you're the boss.
But then I like to be at home and she's the boss and, like teaching me, helping me learn new things. And it's just really like a great.
You guys are so chill, especially you. Your energy is so even keel. It's crazy.
Only on the outside.
On the
Sometimes
outside?
people, I get that all the time. I don't know what it is about me, but I'm very, confident in myself. I'm very self-assured and I know myself really well, but I like to listen and I like to observe. I feel like I have a meditative way of thinking about things.
I could feel that from you. You're very like peaceful in thought. Like you're even the way you talk, you're very articulate, and everything you say is like thought about.
Thank you.
cool.
Since I was little, everyone says I
And what's the
have
other
an
sister?
old soul.
Like, what's your other
Gigi,
Gigi?
she's 13. So have you seen the movie 8th Grade?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I've heard about that. Yeah.
yeah, it's basically a documentary of Gigi's life.
No,
She would kill. She would kill
no,
us.
she would kill you if you said
No.
that. 8th grade is like about a super cringy, nerdy 8th grader, and my sister's like beautiful and tall and like has a boyfriend and whatever, but she is the classic 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Like just doesn't want to talk to us, just wants to be on her phone, just wants to like FaceTime her friends.
We live in a very quiet neighborhood in New York, and she has a drum set, a keyboard, electric guitars,
Electric bass.
electric bass,
Everything loud.
and she goes in there with her friends and jams. And I'm always like, please God, don't have the cops be coming to my door.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, yeah,
And
she's a
what
typical
are you most
teenager.
proud of about your other daughter?
About Gigi?
Yes, so we have to.
I mean, her musical talent
Okay.
is on fire.
Yeah, and it's something
really
no
crazy.
one else in our family has,
That's
and I think
crazy.
it's so, important in a family to like have something that you really,
That's yours.
yeah,
alone.
that's yours.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's good.
And Kit, I would love to hear your advice to the millennials out there who are watching. How do you get that self-confidence? What can you share? Because there's a lot of, especially with social media, there's
What's
so
the
much
recipe?
insecurity.
I
wanna
mean-
listen
Ingredients.
too.
We need to hear them.
I mean, for me, I think, finding self-confidence and self-assurance is definitely a lifelong journey, and I don't think, there's a time when you're like, I'm perfect and that's it. I'm always working on myself, and I do that, with my work, with my design work, and with my fitness and my wellness. And when you are working on yourself in those ways, and you're feeding yourself well, and you're working out, and you're focusing on your passion and learning something new every day, you're proud of all of that work that you're putting into yourself, and that that is why I'm confident in myself, because I know I'm constantly working to get better. And
It sounds like you're fortifying your future.
Yes.
yeah,
I
or
love
manifesting is the trendy
Right, yeah,
word,
right.
manifest your future. So I try to, continue to better myself, and that's something to be proud of.
She also has the whole family going to Barry's boot camp, SLT, Soul Cycle.
Yeah.
You're
All
killing
my
it.
faves.
It's like, it was a metamorphosis. I mean, not that we were inactive or eating crap, it was like, it's just like when you really see someone by example living that life, you're like, that's just as easy, it's just as,
And you feel
time-consuming.
completely different, and
Yeah.
you think completely different, and it changes. It changes
I still eat
everything.
dairy. I still have some, bad habits, but
But it's
you
not.
can't deprive yourself.
You gotta be you.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you.
And also like I was talking about before, there's not one diet that you can push on everyone.
Have you ever heard
Yeah.
the book Eating Right for Your Blood Type?
Yes, I have.
I like that book.
I haven't like done that
I
much
resonate
research
with that.
on it
I mean, it
yet.
makes sense.
You know what my blood type is? B positive.
Ooh.
Isn't
Oh
that
my
so
god, that's
good?
the most fitting thing ever. My mom is like no matter what the situation. This is also something I'm very
It's-
proud of about her.
I was gonna say
She
it's
is like
probably
the
crazy.
most positive person ever. No matter what the situation is, she's just like, okay, we'll fix it. Miss Fix It is what My sister's nanny growing up would call my mom Miss Fix-It.
Fix it. Wow.
Well, it doesn't always work.
Pretty
But I
much.
try.
Speaking of work, what do we have?
Yes.
What is this? Your latest?
I can fix a dishwasher. I can fix a car.
You're like so butch.
I kind of am.
You're in the water all day. You're
Yeah,
like
I
a
kind
dude.
of am. I'm like a dude.
You are. I love it.
In the prettiest dresses ever.
I'm saying.
Yes, and you have a runway show coming up around
Yeah,
the corner.
coming up. Last September, I always try to do something that's entertaining and not like left, right, left, right, left, right, you know? And so last September we, I don't know what made me, I actually know what made me. Our shoes weren't gonna come in on time, so I was like, what can we do where the models don't wear shoes? And then I was like, oh, I know that they can wear roller skates. And so we sent out a huge, like every Facebook, every Facebook page, skate stores, like Central Park skaters. We cast 20 sort of professional roller skater girls, and of all different size, shape, looks, everything about them was diverse, and their skills had to be on fleek, and these girls crushed it. And so we closed Morton Street, and they skated, when the music started, they came barreling down Morton Street and into our space, and it was really joyful.
I can't wait for the next runway show.
Well, this has just been so much fun, and I always like to end the show with 3 tips for the home chef. So I don't know if you do most of the cooking or you do the most of the cooking, but what would be some quick tips for the home chef?
Well, for us, it's really been about like just making simple swaps in the kitchen. So if you love soy sauce, you know, you can find like a coconut amino sauce or something that has, you know, less sodium, probably not as many ingredients in it, or same with, you know, Greek yogurt versus like low-fat sugary yogurt. And so it's just, you know, making those simple little swaps, and that can, you know, help contribute to overall health.
Mine is always efficiency and speed.
Yeah,
so
and
I like
prepping
to have,
a few things
Yeah,
too.
I like to have a well-stocked kitchen, whether it's some frozen things, some, you know, packaged things that can last a while, and then a ton of great fresh stuff. But I like to have everything there. I don't like to be like shopping for the meal, or, you know, I think you can be much more creative when you have a well-stocked kitchen.
One more tip, life tip or kitchen tip?
Our new obsession is the air crisper.
Oh.
So we've been we've been trying all of these crispy veggies.
Chickpeas,
Yeah.
Zucchini.
tofu, zucchini,
Yeah.
avocado in there.
We have
Yeah.
a brand new piece
Carrots.
of equipment from Viking. It's called the Turbo Chef, that has an air crisping mode. Works like a dream. So we're going
We're
to introduce you to
obsessed.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on Kitchen Chat and for the fun stories. It's just great.
This is a good one.
This
I
is-
love, it's my favorite. I think it's my favorite one so far.
This is so much fun. It
Thank
was
you
so-
for having us.
Thank you guys.
Oh, well, thank you, and Jamie.
You've been
and-
very inspiring. I feel like
Seriously. I
yeah,
feel
we
like
have a
I've
whole
learned
new-
so much.
a whole new direction.
To-do
for this.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
new to-do list.
Who knew?
Who knew? Oh, well, thank you. And thank you, dear foodie friends, for joining the fun here on Kitchen Chat in the Viking and La Cornue showroom in New York City. Make sure you visit thevikinglife.com for more inspiration and recipes. And also visit me in my kitchen, kitchenchat.info. And always remember to take a moment and savor the day.